Your 20s aren't about having it all figured out. They're about realizing that no one else does either. You've been fed a story your whole life. Graduate by 22, land a dream job by 23, find love by 25, buy a house by 28. But here's the truth. Behind all the perfect Instagram posts and polished LinkedIn updates, most people are confused, experimenting, and quietly wondering if they're getting it all wrong. The difference between people who thrive in their 20s and those who barely survive? It's not perfect planning. It's learning what actually matters and letting go of everything that doesn't. So in this video, we're going to break it down chapter by chapter and show you exactly what to focus on. Not someday, but right now. Your 20s are not the final version of your life. They're the testing ground. This is your identity laboratory, and you should be running as many experiments as possible. You are not supposed to have one clear, permanent version of yourself right now. You're supposed to explore the multiple possible versions of who you could become. That means trying different jobs, meeting different people, and stepping into unfamiliar environments. Not to find yourself, but to build self-awareness based on real data. You might take a pottery class and discover a creative side you never knew existed. You might move to a new city and find out that solitude teaches you more than any classroom ever did. You might start a job you hate and still walk away with skills that shape your future in ways you couldn't predict. Everything you try, even the things that don't work, is giving you insight into who you are and what matters to you. And here's what no one on social media is telling you. Changing your mind isn't a sign of failure. It's a sign of growth. Stop asking yourself, what should I do with my life? Start asking, what can I try next that I haven't tried before? This shift unlocks everything. It frees you from perfection. It gives you permission to explore. Because the truth is, the person who tries 10 different things in their 20s learns more than the one who sticks to a single path out of fear. We've all met people stuck in the same job since graduation, wondering silently what else could have been. Don't let that be your story. The most interesting, fulfilled people you'll meet are the ones who took the unconventional route, who tried, failed, learned, and adapted. They didn't find themselves by thinking about it. They built themselves by doing. So if you're lying awake at night wondering, is this really what I want to be doing with my life? You're not behind. You're exactly where the journey begins. This chapter is your permission slip to experiment. Without guilt, without pressure, and without pretending to have it all figured out. Because in your 20s, the winding path is the right path. Not all relationships deserve equal investment. Your 20s force you to learn this quickly. In school, friendships formed by proximity and routine, but in adulthood, they survive only with intention. Time, energy, and attention are finite resources, so spend them where they will appreciate. Some people leave you energized after 5 minutes, while others drain you within seconds. Trust that difference. A tight circle of genuine allies beats a crowd of casual acquaintances. Relationships compound like money when you invest in the right ones. Prioritize friends who celebrate your growth and release those who resent your change. Letting go is not betrayal. It is self-respect. Schedule time with people who push you to laugh harder and think deeper, and respond slowly to those who only gossip, complain, or compete. Boundaries are filters that protect your future, because every yes to a draining person is a no to your own progress. Curate your social environment as carefully as you curate your digital feed, and build a network that feels like a safety net, not a scoreboard. The people you choose now will shape your mindset for decades. So choose wisely and choose with courage. Your 20s might not be your wealthiest years, but they are the most powerful years for building financial habits that compound for the rest of your life. Because consistent action now is worth far more than heroic action later. Start tracking where every dollar goes. Automate a small percentage of each paycheck into a high-interest savings or investment account, and treat compound interest like the superpower it is. Because money grows exponentially when given time and consistency. Ignore flashy spending designed to impress strangers. Redirect those funds toward assets that appreciate, and remember that wealth is not what you show, but what you keep. Build an emergency fund first, then focus on eliminating high-interest debt, and finally invest in diversified, low-fee index funds that require no constant monitoring. The goal is not deprivation, but intentionality, spending on what truly adds value and cutting what silently steals your future options. Financial freedom in your 20s is not about earning the most. It is about building systems that work while you sleep, creating choices for your future self, and refusing to let money become the reason you stay in a job, a city, or a relationship that no longer fits. Your habits today will either empower or enslave you for decades. So choose wisely, start small, and let time do the heavy lifting. Your body in your 20s feels almost indestructible, but this illusion fades fast. So now is the moment to build simple, sustainable habits that protect your energy, mood, and longevity for decades. Prioritize consistent movement over perfect workouts, because a daily 10-minute walk done for years beats any extreme plan you quit after a week. Treat sleep as non-negotiable, aiming for 7 to 8 quality hours, since every other health metric, focus, metabolism, emotional balance, rises or falls with your pillow time. Eat mostly whole foods. Hydrate more than you think you need, and remember that nutrition is not about restriction, but about fueling the life you want to live. Schedule regular checkups and learn your baseline numbers early, because prevention is cheaper than cure. Guard your mental health with equal vigilance, using therapy, meditation, journaling, or honest conversations to process stress before it becomes crisis. Incremental improvements compound. So choose routines you can maintain rather than programs that impress on social media but exhaust you in real life. Your future self does not care how ripped you looked in one vacation photo. Your future self cares that you can play with your kids, pursue your passions, and wake up pain-free at 50. The choices you make today are writing the owner's manual for the only body you will ever have. Treat it like your most valuable asset, because it is. The question, what do you want to be when you grow up, assumes you must pick one path and stay on it forever. But the modern world rewards those who explore, pivot, and build a portfolio of skills rather than a single rigid identity. Think of your 20s as a career-tasting menu, testing different roles, industries, and cultures to discover where your talents create the most value and where your curiosity stays alive. The biggest mistake is not choosing the wrong job. The biggest mistake is staying in any job that drains you simply because it feels safe. Every position, even the ones you dislike, teaches transferable skills such as communication, problem-solving, or leadership that will compound in unexpected ways later. So extract those lessons deliberately. Ask yourself with each role, what can I learn here that will serve me no matter where I go next? Prioritize environments that offer growth over titles that merely impress outsiders, because learning accelerates your trajectory more than status ever could. Treat networking as relationship building, not transactional schmoozing. And remember, the best time to plant a professional connection is before you need its fruit. Embrace lateral moves, side projects, and sabbaticals as legitimate parts of your path, because today's economy values adaptability over linear progression. Your 20s are not about locking in a lifelong career. They are about collecting enough data to choose work that aligns with your strengths, your values, and the kind of life you actually want. The clarity you earn through exploration now will save you years of silent frustration later. So view each job as a chapter in a larger story that you are actively writing, not a final destination set in stone. Lifelong learning is no longer optional in a world where industries evolve faster than degree programs. So the most valuable skill you can develop in your 20s is the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn on command. Formal education may have ended, but your real education has just begun, guided by curiosity instead of curriculum. Replace the limiting thought, I should already know this, with the empowering belief, I get to learn this next. Transforming every challenge from a threat into an opportunity. Feed your mind widely. Read books outside your field, audit free online courses, and turn commutes into rolling classrooms with podcasts that stretch your perspective. Seek information that challenges your assumptions instead of confirming them, because intellectual flexibility is the ultimate career insurance. Surround yourself with people who know things you don't, and ask genuine questions instead of pretending to understand. Humility accelerates mastery. Treat each new skill as a mental tool you can repurpose across multiple domains. Whether it's coding logic applied to problem solving or public speaking confidence transferred to sales pitches, schedule learning sprints the way others schedule workouts, because your brain's plasticity is still high and rewards deliberate practice. The goal is not to hoard credentials, but to build a mindset that adapts to whatever tomorrow demands. In a decade, the most successful professionals will not be the ones who knew the most facts, but the ones who learned the fastest. Independence in your 20s is more than paying your own bills. It is the confidence to navigate life without constant external validation. Financial independence begins with understanding the difference between needs and wants, then creating systems that cover the essentials before funding the luxuries. Emotional independence grows each time you regulate your feelings without relying on others to rescue you, using self-awareness, boundaries, and reflection. Practical independence develops as you learn everyday skills like cooking healthy meals, maintaining your living space, and managing your schedule efficiently. Intellectual independence appears when you trust your own reasoning, seek multiple viewpoints, and make decisions aligned with your values instead of popular opinion. Each small victory, fixing a leak, negotiating a bill, planning a solo trip, builds a compound confidence that lasts a lifetime. Independence does not mean isolation. It means entering relationships from a place of choice rather than necessity. The goal is to become someone you can depend on first, which makes you an even stronger ally for others. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to act while fear is present. Your 20s provide endless chances to build this courage muscle through intentional discomfort. Every time you speak up when silence feels safer, you expand your capacity for future bravery. Confidence does not come before action. It follows it, growing stronger with each courageous step you take. Start with small challenges like introducing yourself to strangers, sharing an idea at work, or taking a class in something you know nothing about. Gradually raise the stakes to negotiating a raise, traveling solo, or applying for opportunities you feel slightly underqualified for. Your brain will try to keep you in familiar territory because familiarity equals safety in evolutionary terms. Recognize that instinct, thank it for trying to protect you, and then move forward anyway. Track your acts of courage in a journal to see tangible proof that fear is survivable and progress is measurable. The regrets people carry into old age are rarely about the risks that failed. They are about the risks never taken. Avoiding discomfort now may feel easier, but it silently narrows the range of your future possibilities. View fear as a compass pointing toward areas of untapped growth rather than walls you must avoid. When you consistently choose courage over comfort, you retrain your nervous system to interpret uncertainty as excitement instead of danger. A life guided by courage leads to richer experiences, deeper relationships, and a career path defined by possibility rather than limitation. Make courage a daily practice, and your 20s will become the launchpad for a lifetime of bold choices and authentic growth. Small actions repeated consistently shape your life more powerfully than big actions performed sporadically. Your 20s are the ideal time to establish daily habits that compound into extraordinary results over years. Reading 10 pages each day becomes 25 books a year, which transforms your perspective and vocabulary. Saving just $5 a day turns into more than $1,800 every 12 months. Creating a safety cushion or investment seed. Writing 300 words every morning produces a full-length novel in a single year, proving creativity thrives on routine. Conversely, negative habits compound just as relentlessly, turning minor indulgences into major setbacks over time. Scrolling social media for 1 hour daily equals more than 15 full days wasted every year, eroding attention and productivity. Skipping workouts because you feel tired eventually guarantees you will always feel tired. As strength and stamina decline, the compound effect means you are never standing still. You are either building momentum upward or sliding downward through inaction. Focus on small, sustainable improvements rather than dramatic overhauls that collapse under their own weight. Attach each positive habit to an existing routine, making the behavior automatic and frictionless. Track your progress visibly so you witness the silent power of compounding and stay motivated during the early invisible phase. Accept that results are delayed. Trust the math and keep going, even when change is not yet noticeable. Your future self will either thank you for the invisible work you did daily or resent you for the invisible damage you ignored. Your 20s are not the finish line of life. They are the opening lap that sets the pace for every lap that follows. Playing the long game means prioritizing sustainable growth over instant gratification, even when quick wins look tempting and everyone around you seems to be racing ahead. Investing in deep skills, solid relationships, and consistent health habits will not always provide immediate glamour, but these investments compound into advantages that become obvious years later. Delayed gratification feels uncomfortable in the moment, yet it unlocks freedoms that those chasing instant results rarely experience. Choosing work that builds capabilities rather than just offering a flashy title creates momentum that propels your career long after trendy roles fade. Spending on experiences that expand your worldview delivers dividends in empathy, creativity, and resilience that no luxury purchase can match. Prioritizing sleep, nutrition, and movement might seem boring compared to late nights out, but it gives you decades of energy other people will wish they still had. Playing the long game requires emotional resilience, because progress is often invisible while comparison is always visible. Trust the quiet power of consistent effort, and remember that excellence admired at 40 was planted in disciplined choices at 24. Ask yourself regularly whether today's decision expands or shrinks your future possibilities. Then choose the option that keeps doors open. The The long game is not about perfection. It is about patience, persistence, and alignment with what you truly value instead of what temporarily dazzles you. When you look back from 50 or 80, you will not care how fast you checked boxes. You will care how intentionally you lived, how deeply you loved, and how boldly you grew. Your 20s are not a test you can fail. They are an invitation to design the rest of your life with intention. Each chapter you just heard, identity, relationships, finances, health, career, learning, independence, courage, habits, and the long game, is a single thread. The real power comes when you weave them together. Financial stability creates freedom to explore careers that excite you. Strong health fuels the courage to take chances others avoid. A learning mindset accelerates every skill that compounds your independence. Quality relationships provide the support system to sustain long-term goals when motivation dips. Small daily habits anchor the entire process and prevent chaos from stealing your focus. Play these domains against one another like instruments in an orchestra, and your life becomes a symphony instead of scattered noise. Perfection is not the objective. Integration is. Move 1% forward in each area and let time multiply the effect. Your 20-year-old self is planting seeds that your 40-year-old self will harvest. Choose seeds of growth, not seeds of regret. You do not need anyone's permission to take ownership of your decade. But if you have been waiting for a sign, consider this the green light. Start small. Stay consistent. Trust the compound effect. Play the long game. And remember, the most important investment you make in your 20s is the decision to build a life that feels right to you, no matter how unconventional it looks to anyone else.